Hi, this is Becky from the Mama's Girls. I'm going to show you how to make burlap roses, but this is the very first thing we need to do is we're going to stiffen the burlap with some Mod Podge. And then we're going to set it aside and let it dry. It doesn't take too long, maybe half an hour or 45 minutes to get it to dry. And then we'll come back and we'll cut out the flower pattern. Okay, now after we've stiffened the burlap, actually I'll show you this. It's really pretty stiff. And as you cut it out, you'll notice how rigid it is. And we're going to make a flower with 6 petals. And I won't cut out the whole thing, but I'm just showing you how rigid it is. Do you see that? Okay, here are the flowers that I've cut out. I've made 3. You can do any size you want. These ones happen to be just a little over 6 inches this way. But when you're going to make a rose, you'll want all of the 3 for that particular rose to be the same. So we'll start first with this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut just into the center, about to the center of this flower. And then we're going to remove this petal, the curved end of this petal. And I'll show you why we're going to do that. Then we're going to fold this up like that. And we're going to hot glue it. Okay, then we're going to glue just slightly, just a small amount of hot glue here onto this triangle. And then fold it up like this. Just hold it for a second. And it's going to set up. And now what we're going to have is a flower with 5 petals. We'll set that aside. The next one we're going to actually remove an entire petal. So we're going to cut into the middle and remove this petal. We're going to save that piece, so don't do anything with that. Then we're actually going to cut this petal off. Now do you see the shape we have? We're going to do the same thing where we're going to fold this up like this. And now we have a flower that has 4 petals. Set that aside. Okay, for the third flower, we're actually going to cut into the center and we're going to remove 2 of the petals. And you'll see why. Like this. We're going to have this piece that we're going to keep. We're going to use that for something else. And then we're also going to remove this petal. I'm going to fold it like this. So we're going to hot glue that. So now what you'll see is we have a flower with 5 petals, 4 petals, and now 3 petals. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece that we cut out, it kind of looks like a little heart, and we're going to scallop both of these. So we'll end up with 4 little scallops. And they don't have to be perfect because, you know, as flowers are, they're not all perfect. It just kind of gives each flower its own look. You see what we have here? Then we're also going to take this one, kind of looks like a little ice cream cone, and we're going to scallop the top of that to look similar to this. And this one kind of looks like a little heart now. You see all the pieces we have? Now what we're going to do is, before we assemble these, we need to eliminate some of the bulk that's going to be in the center of the flower. So what I like to do is just kind of cut off the point off of this. Kind of do the same with this. Might need to actually be a little bit curved. See the pieces we have? Sometimes these have a little bit too much bulk, so we'll cut a little bit out of that as well. So you're going to see that actually has a hole. And we'll do the same with this one. You can see how stiff this is after we put on the Mod Podge. If you would prefer it not to be so stiff, you can actually water down the Mod Podge a little bit, and then it won't be as stiff. The flower petals will be a little floppier. So here's what we have. You see all of our pieces? The next thing we're going to do is glue these as we go. Okay, to assemble the flower, I think we'll start with this one. And what we're going to do is we're just going to roll this up. Not too tight. This is going to be part of the center of our rose, and we'll want to give that a little dot of glue. Put that there, and that should hold that. Okay, the next piece we're going to use is this one, and we're just going to kind of put that around that other little centerpiece that we just did. So put a little bit of glue, put that together, and we have the center. Now each one will be different, kind of depending on the shape that you choose to do or the size. And it's kind of fun to do different sizes of the flowers. This one, like I say, is just a little over 6 inches. You can do them a lot smaller, you can do them bigger. Okay, so we've got this one set up. And what we're going to do is we're going to assemble by using the first one we did. And we're going to put some hot glue in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's not going to show. I'm going to put this one right in there. Let that set up for a minute. Do the same thing with our next one. Put more hot glue into the center. Then take this piece, press into there, hold it till it cools down just a bit. And then our final piece is going to be our cute little center. And this one actually would be better if we put the glue on like this. And put that right down into the center. Now to make it a little more realistic, it's nice to bend the petals outward. And where you've got that stiffening from the Mod Podge, they kind of just tend to stay however you bend it. Just gives it a little bit of shape, makes it look a little more realistic. See, it's starting to take shape. See how that just kind of holds it in place with that stiffness? If you want, you could take like a pencil or something and roll it. That's not really necessary. Just kind of do it with your fingers. Makes it look more realistic. And see, each one of these flowers is going to, like I say, it'll kind of take on its own little shape and its own little personality, just as real flowers do. They're not all perfect. And there we have the burlap rose.